going, well, this has got to be one of the strangest places I've ever started a tramp from. So behind me is State Highway 1, so that's the main highway up and down the North Island, and I'm between Waihuru and Taihape. I'm at a place called the Hihitahi Forest Sanctuary, and I'm heading up into Zekes Hut. According to the weather forecast, this is a light breeze and the showers are clearing. Ha! Believe that when I see it. Anyway, here we go. Hihitahi Forest Sanctuary. Come on along, let's go. Deep in the forest now. It's getting on for midday, but you wouldn't tell from the weather. So the forecast has been wrong. It's not clearing, it's getting worse. We're getting the odd rain shower coming through, and it's very dark and gloomy. So we're just carrying on. Hopefully we're nearing the summit. I've been climbing steadily for about an hour, so summit shouldn't be far away. I don't know if you can hear that, but you might be able to hear the rain falling, but we're well under the canopy here, so very little rain's actually getting through to me. But there's a there's a howling gale up there, and the rain's coming in really badly. So we're going to keep going. We're going to hope there's some firewood at the hut, and we can get there and warm up. Can't be too far now, probably an hour away, something like that. So here I am at the top of the ridge. The hut should be down in the valley down there, and as you can see, glorious views across the Tongariro Rangipo desert. You can see the mountains. You should have a great view here of Tongariro, Ruapehu, etc. But all you can see up here is cloud. It's clagged in. So much for the weather forecast. I'm sure the weather forecast said it wasn't going to be this windy, but hey, what can I tell you? Horizontal rain up here and very, very cold. Looking forward to dropping down into the hut and getting the fire going. So let's carry on, shall we? Well, it's always good in the background. You come over a hill and you can see where the hut is behind you. So not long to go now. It's down the valley a bit further and we'll be fine. Looking forward to a hot cup of coffee. Put my feet up. Dry socks would be good too. So I arrived at the hut and still about hour and a half of daylight left, I guess, maybe a bit more. But the wood box outside was sadly depleted. There was a little bit in there, enough to get me going. So I had a quick scout around and found some standing deadwood. But as usual, very, very blunt axe, and that's about it. So I brought this with me, and I carry it on most of my tramps to these sort of backcountry places. It's just a folding saw, and probably the best bit of kit that you could carry. It's extremely light and pretty meaty in terms of the blade. It's I think it's called an F180, or I think it's an F180, but it's by Silky anyway. So it's a good thing to carry in your pack. So I charged in there, chopped up those standing dead trees, and I've ended up with a good fire because of it. So the wood's still wet, unfortunately, because it's been raining so much, but it is dead wood. You never cut down a live tree, that's just ridiculous. So it was definitely dead wood, but it was wet from the rain and bits and pieces. But the fire's going all right, it's throwing out a lot of heat, drying everything out. So yep, it's quite good at the moment. Nice warm hut. Well insulated, double glazed, couldn't ask for better. So I'm just setting up in here. I've got my winter sleeping bag with me. So I normally use a quilt in summer, but this is a heavyweight winter bag, so it goes down to a minus rating. It's pretty good. And I've got myself my usual pillow, and there we go. So I should be really comfortable in here. Quite nice. Mattresses are nice and clean. The hut's very tidy, so she's a very comfy place, and yeah, should be rather nice. Anyway, this is me. Well, here we are on the deck outside the hut. It's a beautifully sited hut. You can see the valley that goes up there, so we came over the top of that hill, and then you go further up the valley and then over another ridge, so very sheltered in here. That valley there, you've got another valley up there. It's a beautiful little hut. It's only 4 bunks. It's got a lovely outlook straight down there through the trees, so nice little spot. It's quite sheltered from the wind here. Weather's not that good, but let's go inside and have a look. So there's the water tank there, and inside here it's a really simple 4 bunk hut. 4 bunks, 1, 2, 3, 4, little cooking bench, and we've got the stove fired up. I'm trying to dry everything out. It was raining as I came in, and yeah, very, very wet. So I'm trying to dry everything out. It's pretty late in the afternoon though, so probably only got another hour of daylight left, and then it'll be time for bed. So got the stove cranking, although most of the wood outside's pretty wet. Unfortunately, not surprising given the day, so not the greatest. But anyway, we'll get by. So here we go, Zekes Hut. Lovely little 4 bunk hut. It's pretty new. I'd say it's probably only about 10 or 15 years old, just looking at it. You know me, I love a good backcountry dunny, and no hut's complete without a quality backcountry dunny. And here it is, fiberglass outer, no long drop here, nice composting dunny. So there you go, looking good, can't go wrong. It's the Zekes Hut dunny. She's still hosing down out there and blowing a gale. Nice and warm in here though. We've got the fire going, and very, very comfy, very warm. It's a very small hut. I don't know, 4 or 5 meters by 4 or 5 meters, I guess. So not very big at all. So the fire heats it up beautifully. She'll have a nice cozy sleep tonight, I think. She's very nice and warm. But yeah, weather's pretty ugly. It's blowing straight over us because we're in the valley here, but it's pretty ugly out there. I'm not really looking forward to walking back tomorrow, because I've got to go that way and the wind's coming that way, so I'll be walking straight into the eye of the storm or the wind or whatever it is, which is a bit weird. Forecast today wasn't this, so let's hope they get it right tomorrow. But maybe there's a storm coming, I don't know. But yeah, I expected a bit better weather, but it's not really a problem. Nice and warm in here. So just grab the visitor's book, or the log book, or the intentions book, whatever you want to call it. And it's not a very well visited hut at all. 3 people here about a month ago, and then you go back to April, those sort of things. So yeah, not a very busy hut. I'm assuming it's busy over summer. Yeah, it is busy over summer, so that's not surprising. But yep, very nice hut. Rather like it actually. Quite nice and very quiet. Nobody around, very peaceful, nice and warm. Anyway, what do we got today? Man, check this weather out behind me, look at that. That rain's almost horizontal and that wind would nearly blow you over. It's pretty impressive stuff, isn't it? Glad I'm in here, all nice and warm. Good on you, Zekes Hut. I'm impressed. But that's not pretty out there, is it? Not at all. Wow. Well, it's getting quite late now. I think we're almost at dusk. Can't be too much left of daylight. So I'm just having a nice backcountry meal, cottage pie as per usual. I love a good cottage pie from backcountry, nice and filling and warm. Mind you, I don't need anything warm with the fire going. This hut's really nice and toasty warm now. Thermometer outside says 2 degrees. I guess it's probably more than that in the wind chill. I don't know what it is in here, but nice and warm anyway. So I think I'll enjoy my backcountry meal and probably settle down in my sleeping bag and have a bit of a read or whatever, and call it a night. Anyway, thanks backcountry, very tasty. It's getting dark outside now. I'm going to dive into the sleeping bag. I've got a couple of candles going over there. I'm going to read a book for a while and then go to sleep. So if anything happens over the night that I think you should know, I'll bring you back and you can have a look. But other than that, good night. See you in the morning. Good morning. Hard to believe looking at how dark it is, but it's actually 8 o'clock in the morning. The wind didn't let up all night. It's still raining outside, so I'm going to have a walk back in the rain. But I had a great night's sleep. I probably slept for about 12 hours straight, which was excellent. I woke up a couple of times when we had some gusts of wind that was so strong the whole hut was shaking. And there's some pots and pans and things like that hanging on hooks, and they were all rattling around and shaking and making all sorts of noise. And one of the frying pans actually fell off one of the nails that they hung on. So she was a pretty wild night. The little hut did really well. I was a bit worried it was going to get blown over once there, but went back to sleep fairly quickly. So yeah, no big deal really. So just a matter now of having some nice hot porridge. Get me going this morning. I'm putting on some wet weather gear and getting out in what looks like really horrible weather. Rain, wind, it's cold. Yeah, and I got 4 hours back to the car. Ah well, I guess that's the joys of tramping in winter, isn't it? Well, when you're walking through the bush, especially when it's clagged in like it is, I mean, it's dirty weather. You can probably hear the wind up in the trees, clouds, rain. It's always nice to come across a sign to know that you're going the right way. Look at that. Little sign says out, that way. Luckily, that's the way we're going. Come on, let's go. Well, we're almost at the end of the track. Car should be just down there. I hope. Looks sick if it's not, won't I? Well, we're almost at the end of the track. Car should be just down there. So that was my night in Zekes Hut at the Hihitahi Forest Sanctuary. Weather's still garbage. Zekes Hut's a 4-bunk hut. It's a cut down version of the one that I stayed in a couple of weeks ago, and that was the Hohongaroa hut in the Pururoa Forest Park. So you can have a look at that. I'll have a link of it up there if you want to have a look. I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. See you next time.